Come on up here. Carol Simon, you are about to be installed as the 21st International President of Women's League for Conservative Judaism. What better introduction for you than these words from our sages? As it says in Pirkei Avot, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai posed this question to his students. Look about you and tell me, how should we live our life? Rabbi Eliezer said, a generous eye. Rabbi Yehoshua said, a good colleague. Rabbi Yossi said, foresight. Rabbi Elazar said, a generous heart. Rabbi Yochanan said to them, I prefer the answer of Elazar ben Arak, for his view includes all of yours. Carol, for many years you have been involved in training leaders, and you know, as well as anyone here, that these are all critical qualities for a good leader. Let this continue to be your guide. A generous eye, a good colleague, foresight, a generous heart. Already, Carol, these define you. How fortunate we are that you are the next link in this chain of Women's League presidents. It is now my honor to introduce Rabbi Mark Sack of Temple, Judea, Fort Myers, Florida, your friend and your rabbi who will install you. Rabbi Mark.
Carol, I am honored and grateful that you asked me to be part of your installation as the 21st International President of Women's League for Conservative Judaism. I have long admired and personally benefited from yours and Jeff's insight and friendship. And my wife Lenny and I look forward to continuing that friendship, especially when we do it enjoying a glass of wine watching the sunset on Fort Myers Beach. Carol Simon, you have a passion, and that passion is building a greater community of Jewish women, helping every individual woman grow in her commitment to God, to Torah, to the Jewish people, and the state of Israel. You want Women's League to support every woman in her personal search for Jewish meaning, regardless of her age, regardless of where she lives, regardless of whether she is part of a conservative congregation or any congregation. Before you took this job, Carol, you interviewed women who were unaffiliated and unconnected, and you asked them what they would want in a Jewish women's organization. As a trainer for Women's League, you traveled across North America and you listened to the stories and the desires of the women you met. You have built an international board that includes women from across the continent. And since you are a thoroughly modern woman, you will hold many of your meetings via video conference. You love Women's League because you have grown through this organization. Because of your involvement with Women's League, you perform more mitzvot in your personal life. Through this organization, you have developed a greater love of studying Torah. And you believe that this organization that has given you so much can support the same growth for Jewish women everywhere, and that's what you want. Your organizational skills have grown through your involvement with Women's League, though I'm convinced you had those skills all along. I think you told me of a trade show that you went to as a girl. I believe it was with your father, at which you sat quietly off to the side. Well, Carol, as you will today, you regularly stand up in a room like this in front of hundreds of people, and you speak fluidly. You were a chapter president more than once, regional convention chair, regional president twice, national convention chair. You have held multiple seats on the international board. As a leader, you have a gift, and that gift is for bringing people in. Your style is understated. You can oversee without telling people what to do. Your warmth, your concern, your commitment are apparent to everyone you meet. The Parsha for this week is Matot, but I must tell you that next week's Parsha Maseh has always been one of my favorites, for it lists all the stopping points of the Jewish people during their trek through the desert. The Baal Shem Tov says that what applies to the whole people applies to every individual Jew as well, that we stop at many places in our personal march to the Promised Land. Through your leadership, Carol, Women's League will support Jewish women everywhere in their personal journey. Through the example you set, with your passionate commitment to God, to Torah, the Jewish people, the state of Israel, and to Torah Fund, you will give strength to this organization, and you will give strength and encouragement to all Jewish women who are looking for inspiration and a Jewish home. Carol Simon, it is my honor and privilege to install you as the 21st International President of Women's League for Conservative Judaism, Chizki v'imtzi. May you have strength and courage in your leadership.
First, I want to thank many of you who have brought me to this day. Rabbi Mark Zach, my spiritual guide, and my friend, even on Fort Myers Beach. Corey, my mentor and friend. Rita, and all of our amazing past presidents who have provided outstanding leadership, not only for me, but for our thousands of Women's League members. My gratitude is deep, and I am truly humbled as I stand before you. I want to speak tonight about journeys, both personal and collective. As a noun, a journey is defined as a passage or progression from one stage or place to another. As a metaphor, a journey is about a personal quest, where we are going and how we get there. My journey began years ago in a small boardroom in a synagogue in Miami. The synagogue and sisterhood were at a troubled crossroads, and I sat there thinking that if I didn't volunteer to be a co-president, the sisterhood would remain a group of very committed but older women, all friends of my mother-in-law's. No one knew, no one representing me or my friends. The funny thing is, they were only slightly older than I am now. Little did I realize how that one decision would shape my journey. That one decision to get involved in my synagogue sisterhood encouraged and guided my personal and religious growth. It created for me a life-changing sense of Jewish community. It provided me with a precious web of lifelong friendships and a safe haven, a place to try new things, to go beyond my comfort zone. first in Florida and then on the International Board of Women's League. That one little decision to volunteer has opened doors that I could never have envisioned sitting in that boardroom that day. Over the years, as I have become involved in training Women's League leaders, I often have pondered how women acquire leadership skills. For me, as for many of you, our sisterhoods have provided that venue. It is not a coincidence. It is rather that within the supportive community of women, we encourage one another to be creative and original, to be courageous enough to advocate for progress and press for change, to confront challenges and embrace opportunities. Within our sisterhoods, we can find an incredibly diverse cross-section of women that run the demographic and professional gamut. Teachers, social workers, accountants, office managers, lawyers, healthcare workers, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, and daughters, all committed in one way or another to the ideals of conservative Judaism and the vision of our founder, Matilda Schechter, and a pioneering generation of talented and energetic women. While the programmatic focus of Women's League might have changed from our earlier days, the driving message remains the same. I can do that. We can do that. You can all perhaps pinpoint the beginning of your own Women's League journeys. Perhaps it was as simple or personal as my friend asked me, or most likely dragged me, to a sisterhood event. Many of us probably went kicking and screaming, but the fact that each of you is here today bears witness to the durability of sisterhood. And along the way, something remarkable happened to each of us. We met outstanding women who befriended us, who mentored us, women who reached out. Their lessons were invaluable. Our community grew. And why? Because every member is important. Today, that means every sisterhood member and every individual member. How do we acknowledge this? The crucial importance of everyone? It will be the goal of this administration to reach out to every member. We are going to reach out to connect, and just as important, we are going to lean in to listen. We will listen to your needs. What can we do to help you and your sisterhoods grow, flourish, and be better? We will listen to what you need personally to make your Jewish connection stronger and more spiritually fulfilling. We are the only organization in the world that is devoted specifically to conservative Jewish women. Women's League history is rich with accomplishments and personalities. Throughout its nearly 100 years, our leaders have fostered enlightened Jewish learning among its members. We have advocated fiercely for the State of Israel, provided essential financial support to our foremost educational institutions, and promoted the power and dignity of women's voices in prayer and study within our synagogues. That is the Women's League legacy, and that continues to be our value. We are here to provide every community with a women's group committed to our collective goals, and provide every conservative Jewish woman with a community to be a part of. How do we sustain these communities in 2014 and beyond? We reach out and lean in. We are asking our regions to reach out to their entire region membership, not just to sisterhood presidents. We are asking them to lean in so that they can really listen to what sisterhoods need to function more effectively and to become relevant to more of the diverse women in our communities. But it doesn't stop there. We are asking the leadership in each sisterhood to reach out to the women who are not active and to find out what the sisterhood can do to engage them. So here is my request to you. When you return home, do this one thing. Identify 2 women. Invite them for coffee or a drink. Just get to know them. Talk about their families, their talents, not about joining sisterhood or, heaven forbid, being on the board, or that you're looking for a president. Just reach out. Find out what excites them. What are they passionate about? What troubles them? Take the time to become friends and connect one by one and lean in. In this administration, membership will be our priority. This is best achieved by connecting member by member, member to member. Whether affiliated with a synagogue or not, no woman should be left behind. We want and need to be their voice and connect them to our wonderful network. Our restructured board is designed to make working teams, reflecting Rabbi Herring's description of expanding the circle of leadership so that more people are tapped for their ideas and energy, which then becomes a participatory community. Our leadership culture has been redesigned to reflect our geographical diversity and talent. I am so honored to be the first Women's League president, not from the Northeast. And to have my friend and fellow Floridian, Francine Abramoff, join me as the new treasurer. The positive implication of this diversity opens doors for everyone sitting here and for all of our members. Granted, like other religious organizations, we have many concerns about our future, but I see these as challenges and I see these as opportunities. Many contend that sisterhood is an anachronism, rooted in the past. I know from personal experience, which is also substantiated by research, that a women's community provides important and even healthful benefit and a comfort to its members. In a Jewish women's organization, the additional benefit of a shared cultural identity and a history further enriches and energizes each of us. Reach out and lean in. Our network of women is remarkable. As you share your successes and challenges with us, we will listen. I look forward to the next 3 years with a sense of humility, expectation, and great optimism. As with anything that we don't do it alone. I have had inspiring mentors and friends at my side for years. I have a terrific network of sisters from my own sisterhood, Road of Shalom in Tampa, as well as my former sisterhood in Miami, Temple Samuel or alum. And my region, it's the best. The women of Florida support, mentor, and guide. But there are 2 who have helped me from the very, very beginning when I was very green as a branch president. Barbara Safer was right there from my earliest days as a branch president. And to Myrna Kagan, who cannot be here with us today because of health reasons, I am forever grateful for her guidance, friendship, wisdom, and for her seeing the potential in me. But my biggest supporters over the years have been my beautiful family. Thank you all for being here today. Lee, Jen, Karen, and Michael, you've all been so encouraging about me taking on this position. Michael, you have been encouraging me for years. I may not be as flexible to babysit, but we will make it work. Sophia, Sage, and Mackenzie are here with us today. And I learned from one of my mentors, Claire Wexler, of blessed memory, that your children and grandchildren never see you write that check, but they do see you give of your time. I hope that each of our grandchildren will learn from this expedition that I am about to embark on, about giving back, and how very important it is. You and your cousins, Jordan, Cameron, and Gabriel, are among the loves of my life. Saba is the other one. He has been my #1 love since we met at a Yom Kippur break while in high school. No one could ever ask for a better partner, friend, confidant, and of course, a very understanding employer. Since 1967, we've supported one another in whatever came our way. The next 3 years will be interesting, exciting, challenging, but I know that my best friend Jeff will be there asking the hard questions, making me think, encouraging me to be a better leader and a better person. I love you, and I thank you for supporting me, as our lives will definitely be changing. Every morning I receive by email a quote for the day. Several weeks ago, this quote arrived in my inbox, and I thought it was just perfect message to share with each of you today. Dr. William Ward, renowned professor of social media and communications at the Newhouse School of Communications at Syracuse University, wrote, and I quote, "Do more than belong, participate. Do more than care, help. Do more than believe, practice. Do more than be fair, be kind. Do more than forgive, forget. And do more than dream, work." Todad Rabbah to each of you for being a part of my life, and for all of you joining me on our journey together for the next 3 years as we share this amazing Shabbat together. And I wish each of you a memorable and uplifting Shabbat Shalom.